I'm sitting across from my husband at Rosewood Restaurant, the same place where we celebrated our wedding rehearsal dinner 7 years ago. Daniel looks different tonight. His hair is gelled back, his suit is new, and he keeps checking his watch like he's waiting for something important. I watch him fidget with his wine glass, trying to ignore the knot twisting in my stomach. He ordered champagne without asking what I wanted. That's when I know something is wrong. He never orders champagne. The waiter pours 2 glasses, but Daniel barely touches his. His eyes keep darting toward the entrance. I pretend not to notice. My purse sits in my lap, heavy with the envelope I've been carrying for 3 weeks. Tonight was supposed to be our anniversary. Instead, it's becoming something else entirely. When a woman in a red dress walks through the door, Daniel's face lights up. He stands so quickly his chair scrapes against the floor. She's younger than me, maybe 25, with perfect makeup and confident steps. She walks straight to our table like she belongs here. The woman slides into the empty chair beside Daniel without hesitation. He puts his hand on her shoulder, and I watch his fingers squeeze gently. My chest tightens, but I keep my face blank. Daniel clears his throat twice before speaking. His voice sounds rehearsed, like he practiced this moment in front of a mirror. Vanessa, he says, using my full name instead of the nickname he's called me for years. I need you to meet someone important. The woman smiles at me, showing perfect white teeth. Daniel takes a breath and drops the bomb that should shatter me. This is my fiancé. The words hang in the air between us. My ears ring. The restaurant sounds fade into static. But I don't scream. I don't cry. I don't throw my wine in his face like I imagined doing 100 times. Instead, I reach into my purse and touch the envelope. My fingers are steady. Daniel expects tears. He expects begging. He expects me to fall apart right here in front of everyone. But he has no idea what's coming. I look Daniel in the eye and speak calmly. Before you embarrass yourself any further, you might want to see this. My voice doesn't shake. I slide the envelope across the table with 2 fingers, watching his confident expression start to crack. His fiancée looks confused, glancing between us like she walked into the wrong scene. Daniel stares at the envelope like it might explode. What is this? He asks. His hand hovers over it, but doesn't touch it. I lean back in my chair and take a sip of the champagne he ordered. It tastes expensive. Probably cost him more than he should have spent. Open it, I say simply. It's part of your anniversary surprise. His fiancée shifts uncomfortably. She's starting to realize this isn't going how Daniel told her it would. He picks up the envelope slowly. His fingers tremble slightly as he tears it open. Inside are copies of financial documents, bank statements, property deeds, investment portfolios, all with my name on them. His face drains of color as he flips through the pages. Daniel's hands shake as he reads. His fiancée leans over to look, her perfectly painted eyebrows drawing together in confusion. I don't understand, she whispers to him. But he understands. I can see it dawning on his face, the slow, horrifying realization that he miscalculated everything. When did you? He starts, but can't finish the sentence. I decide to help him out. 6 months ago, I say, keeping my voice conversational like we're discussing the weather. That's when I found the hotel receipt in your jacket pocket. The one from the Grandview Hotel downtown. 2 dinners ordered to the room. Champagne at midnight. You told me you were working late that night, remember? His mouth opens and closes. No sound comes out. His fiancée's face changes. The confident smile disappears. You said you 2 were separated, she says to Daniel. Her voice has an edge now. You told me she knew about us. You said she was fine with it. I almost laugh. Almost. Instead, I take another sip of champagne and say, sit tight. It gets better. Daniel tries to recover. He always does. That's his pattern. Caught in a lie, He doubles down with bigger lies. Vanessa, you're making a scene, he hisses across the table. Can we discuss this privately? I shake my head. No. Your fiancé deserves to hear this too. She should know what kind of man she's marrying. I pull out my phone and open a voice recording. Daniel's eyes go wide. He recognizes what it is before I even hit play. Don't, he warns. But I press play anyway. His voice fills the space between us, recorded 3 months ago during a phone call with his friend Bradley. Daniel's voice comes through clear and smug. I'm just waiting for the right moment to ditch the deadweight. She doesn't even work. Once I'm free, Ashley and I can finally start our real life together. I stop the recording. The woman in the red dress, Ashley, stares at Daniel with her mouth slightly open. Dead weight, she repeats quietly. Daniel scrambles for excuses. That was just guy talk. I didn't mean it. Bradley was going through his divorce and I was just... But Ashley cuts him off. You told me she had nothing. You said she'd been living off you for years. I smile for the first time since this dinner started. That's what he thought. I gesture to the papers still scattered in front of Daniel. Let me explain what you're looking at. The house we live in. It's in my name. Has been for 4 years. Daniel wanted to refinance to get a better rate, but his credit score was terrible. So we put it in my name. He seemed to forget that detail. Daniel's jaw clenches. He knows where this is going. The cars, the investment accounts, the savings we built together. I spent the last 6 months very carefully reorganizing our assets. All legal. All documented. All traceable. Ashley leans away from Daniel slightly. But he said you didn't work. He said you just stayed home. I nod. He did say that. A lot. But that was another lie. Daniel interrupts, his voice rising. You have that little consulting thing you do from home. That's not a real job. The way he says, little consulting thing, makes me want to throw my champagne in his face after all. But I stay calm. Calm is more powerful. My little consulting thing, I say slowly, currently brings in about $8,000 a month, which is $2,000 more than your job at the dealership. Daniel's face goes red. Ashley's eyes widen. You told me you were the manager, she says to him. I shake my head. He's a sales associate. Has been for 3 years. He tells people he's a manager because it sounds better. Daniel slams his hand on the table. Silverware rattles. People at nearby tables turn to look. You're twisting everything, he says through clenched teeth. I pull out another folder from my purse. This one is thicker. I have time-stamped photos of you and Ashley at 4 different restaurants over the last 6 months. I have credit card statements showing charges to jewelry stores, flower shops, and hotels. I have text messages you thought you deleted, but I recovered from our cloud storage. And I have witness statements from 3 different people who saw you 2 together. Ashley covers her mouth with her hand. Oh my God, she whispers. Daniel reaches for the folder, but I pull it back. This copy is for my lawyer. You'll get yours soon enough. Daniel's face shifts from red to pale. He's finally realizing how deep the hole is that he dug for himself. You can't do this, he says weakly. We're married. What's yours is mine. I almost feel sorry for him. Almost. That's where you're wrong, I say. Remember the prenuptial agreement you insisted I sign 7 years ago? You were so proud of yourself. You told your friends you were protecting your assets because you were going to be so successful. His eyes dart around like he's looking for an escape route. The prenup you made me sign had a fidelity clause written into it. Your lawyer added it. Said it was standard. I didn't care at the time because I never planned to cheat. I paused to let that sink in. But you did. And according to that clause, if either party commits adultery, they forfeit their claim to the marital assets. Ashley stands up suddenly. Her chair scrapes loudly against the floor. You told me she was broke, she says again, her voice shaking now. You said once you divorced her, we could travel and buy a house together with your money. Daniel reaches for her arm. Ashley, please. Let me explain. But she jerks away from his touch. People are definitely staring now. A manager in a black suit hovers near our table, trying to decide if he should intervene. Daniel notices the attention and hisses at me. Can you lower your voice? Everyone's looking. I don't raise my voice. I don't need to. The truth speaks loud enough on its own. Your fiancée deserves to know what she's getting into, I say calmly. So does everyone else who thought you were a decent person. The manager approaches carefully. Is everything all right here? He asks, directing the question to me. I give him a reassuring smile. Everything's fine. My husband is just learning some important information about his future. We'll be done soon. Ashley grabs her purse from where she'd set it on the floor. Her hands are shaking. I can't do this, she says. Her voice cracks. You lied about everything. Your job. Your money. Your marriage. What else did you lie about? Daniel stands up, trying to block her path. Please don't leave. We can talk about this. But Ashley pushes past him. She looks at me one more time before walking away. I'm sorry, she says. Then she's gone, clicking away on her high heels toward the exit. Daniel watches her leave, then slowly turns back to me. The mask he's been wearing cracks completely. Underneath is pure rage. You did this on purpose, he snarls. You planned this whole thing to humiliate me. I shake my head. No, Daniel, you did this to yourself. I just refuse to be a silent victim. He leans across the table, getting too close to my face. You vindictive witch. You're enjoying this. The manager steps closer, concerned now. But I wave him off. I can handle Daniel. I've been handling him for years. You know what I'm enjoying? I say quietly. Not lying anymore. Not pretending I don't know what you've been doing. Not making excuses for why you come home late or why you're suddenly so interested in working out and buying new clothes. I'm enjoying not having to be your fool anymore. Daniel sits back down heavily. His expensive suit suddenly looks too big on him. What do you want? He asks finally. His voice sounds defeated. I reach into my purse one more time. I want you to have this. I slide another envelope across the table. This envelope is thicker than the first. Official looking. Daniel stares at it like it's a poisonous snake. What is it? He asks, though I think he already knows. Open it and see. His hands tremble as he picks it up. He tears it open and pulls out the papers inside. I watch his eyes scan the first page. Then the second. His face goes through several emotions. Confusion. Disbelief. Anger. Fear. Divorce papers, he says flatly. Filed 3 weeks ago. I've been waiting for the right moment to serve them to you. I take a sip of water, completely calm. You always told me our anniversary was the most important day of your life. I wanted to make sure you'd remember it. He flips through the pages frantically. His finger stops on a section and his breathing gets faster. The house. You're taking the house. I nod. It's in my name. But yes, I'm keeping it. He keeps reading. His face gets paler with each page. My retirement account? My car. I lean forward slightly. Consequences. Daniel. Actions have consequences. Daniel drops the papers on the table. He runs his hands through his perfectly gelled hair, messing it up. You can't take everything. That's not fair. I almost laugh at the word fair. You want to talk about fair? Is it fair that you spent our money taking another woman on dates? Is it fair that you told everyone I was dead weight? Is it fair that you planned to leave me with nothing? He has no answer for that. The numbers are finally adding up in his head. He's calculating what he'll have left after I take what's legally mine. It's not much. His salary barely covers his car payment and the credit cards he maxed out trying to impress Ashley. Without my income, without the house, without the savings. He's starting from zero. Maybe less than zero. I'll fight this in court, he says, but his voice lacks conviction. I shake my head. You can try. But you signed the prenup. You committed adultery. I have proof. Your own lawyer will tell you that you don't have a case. He puts his head in his hands. You ruined me, he whispers. I finish my water and set the glass down carefully. No, Daniel. You did that to yourself. Daniel looks up at me with panic in his eyes. What about our joint savings account? You can't touch that without my signature. I smile again. This is the part I've been waiting to reveal. I transferred those funds into an escrow account yesterday, pending court approval. My lawyer has all the documentation. His mouth falls open. That's $23,000. You can't just take it. I didn't take it. I secured it. There's a difference. The court will decide how it gets divided. But considering your adultery and the prenup terms, I'm confident about how that decision will go. Daniel's breathing becomes faster. He's having what looks like a panic attack. You can't do this, he repeats, but weaker this time. Oh, honey, I say, echoing the condescending tone he's used on me for years. I already did. He looks around the restaurant desperately, like someone might come save him. But everyone who's watching sees a man who got caught. A cheater facing consequences. Nobody feels sorry for him. We had a life together, he says, trying a different approach. 7 years of marriage. That has to mean something. Daniel's voice softens. His eyes get wet. Here comes the performance I knew was coming. Vanessa, please. We can work this out. I stare at him without blinking. Can we? He reaches across the table for my hand. I pull it away. We can go to counseling. I made a mistake. A huge mistake. But people can change. I can change. I've heard this speech before. Different words, same meaning. When I caught him texting another woman 2 years ago, he said he'd change. When I found charges to a hotel on our credit card, he said he'd change. Every time he got caught, he promised to be better. But better never came. Only sneakier. You didn't want to work on our marriage 10 minutes ago, I say quietly. 10 minutes ago, you were introducing me to your fiancé. You didn't look like someone who wanted to fix things. You looked like someone who already moved on. He wipes his eyes. Real tears or fake? I don't care anymore. I was confused, he says. She made me feel young again. Exciting. Like I was special. The excuses pour out of him now. But you're my wife. My partner. We built a life together. Daniel keeps talking, but his words sound hollow. I'll end things with Ashley. Completely. I'll do whatever you want. He's bargaining now, offering me things that were already mine. We can take a trip together. Reconnect. I'll work harder. I'll be better. I watch him spiral and feel nothing. No anger. No sadness. Just tired relief that this is finally ending. Please, he says again. Don't throw away 7 years over one mistake. One mistake. I repeat. Daniel, you proposed to another woman. You brought her to our anniversary dinner. You planned to take my money and start a new life. That's not one mistake. That's a series of choices. He slams his fist on the table suddenly. The plates rattle. Water sloshes in the glasses. People at nearby tables jump. You're being unreasonable, he shouts. You won't even try to understand my side. The manager appears again, this time with a security guard. Sir, I'm going to need you to lower your voice or leave. Daniel looks around wildly. His face is red again. Veins bulge in his neck. This is the real Daniel. The one he hides under charm and smiles. The angry man who throws tantrums when he doesn't get his way. The manager speaks to me gently. Ma'am, would you like us to escort you out? We can make sure you get to your car safely. I appreciate his concern. Thank you, but I'm fine. He's the one who needs to leave. Daniel stands up so fast his chair tips backward. I'm not leaving. This is my anniversary dinner. I made the reservation. I stay seated, completely calm. Actually, I made the reservation. Under my name. Using my credit card. You just showed up. The security guard, a big man with kind eyes, steps closer to Daniel. Sir, I think it's best if you go now. Daniel looks at me with pure hatred. This isn't over. Yes, I say firmly. It is. He grabs his jacket from the back of his chair and storms toward the exit. Everyone watches him go. Some people whisper to each other. A few look at me with sympathy. One older woman gives me a thumbs up. I almost laugh. The manager approaches with a concerned expression. I'm so sorry about all this. Your meal is on the house tonight. That's very kind, but not necessary. He insists though, so I thank him. As I gather my things to leave, I notice someone standing near the bar. Ashley stands by the bar entrance, her red dress impossible to miss. She's been watching. Our eyes meet across the restaurant. She walks toward me slowly, and I tense, unsure what to expect. But when she reaches my table, she doesn't look angry. She looks lost. Can we talk? She asks quietly. For just a minute. I should say no. I should walk away. But something in her face makes me stay. I gesture to the chair Daniel abandoned. She sits down carefully. I didn't know, she starts, about any of it. He told me you two were separated. That you were just waiting for the paperwork to finalize. That you both wanted different things. I believe her. She's young. Probably believed everything Daniel said because he's good at lying. He's had years of practice. I'm pregnant, Ashley says suddenly. The words hang between us. My stomach drops. 3 months. I found out a few weeks ago. That's when he proposed. He seemed so happy about it. She looks down at her hands. But now I don't know what's real. If he lied about everything else, what if he's lying about wanting this baby? I don't know what to say. This woman is carrying my husband's child. That should make me hate her. But looking at her, I just see someone else he deceived. What are you going to do? I ask. Ashley shakes her head. I don't know. I thought I had a partner. Someone who would help raise this baby. But now. She trails off. Now you know who he really is. She nods, tears forming in her eyes. I'm 26. I have a good job. I can do this alone if I have to. But I'm scared. I reach across and squeeze her hand briefly. Just once. You'll figure it out. You're stronger than you think. She looks at me with surprise. Why are you being nice to me? I'm the other woman. You're a woman he lied to. Same as me. The difference is you found out before you married him. We sit in silence for a moment. Then Ashley stands. I'm sorry, she says. For all of it. I should have asked more questions. I should have trusted my gut when things seemed off. We all should have, I say. She walks away then, disappearing into the parking lot. I wonder if I'll ever see her again. I sit alone at the table for a few more minutes. The manager brings me a dessert I didn't order. Chocolate cake with raspberry sauce. You deserve something sweet after all that, he says with a kind smile. I thank him and take a bite. It tastes like victory. My phone buzzes. A text from my lawyer, Patricia. How did it go? She asks. I type back. Perfectly. He has the papers. Good. See you in court. Patricia Chen. No wait, I mean Patricia Walker is the best divorce attorney in our city. She also happens to be the ex-wife of Daniel's former boss at the dealership. When I told her my situation, her eyes lit up with professional interest. She knew exactly what kind of man Daniel was. She'd seen him in action at company parties, watching him flirt and lie. She'd been waiting for a case like this. I'm going to enjoy this, she told me during our first meeting. Not because I'm vindictive, but because I believe in consequences. She helped me organize everything. The financial documents. The evidence of his affair. The prenup analysis. Every detail planned and executed perfectly. 4 weeks later, we sit in a courthouse conference room. Daniel is there with his new lawyer, a nervous young man fresh out of law school. The only one Daniel could afford. Patricia sits beside me, a stack of folders in front of her. She looks ready for battle. The mediation is supposed to help us reach a settlement before going to trial. But Patricia and I both know Daniel won't settle. He's too proud. Too convinced he can talk his way out of this. The mediator, a tired-looking woman in her 50s, explains the process. Daniel interrupts her 3 times. His lawyer keeps putting a hand on his arm, trying to shut him up. Let's start with the division of assets, the mediator says. Patricia slides a document across the table. Due to the prenuptial agreement and proven infidelity, my client is entitled to maintain ownership of all assets currently in her name, plus 50% of my client's husband's retirement account. Daniel explodes. That's insane. You can't take my retirement. His lawyer whispers urgently to him. Daniel shakes him off. I worked for that money. Patricia doesn't even blink. You also violated the terms of your prenuptial agreement. The consequences were clearly stated. The mediation lasts 3 hours. Daniel argues every point. He claims the prenup is unfair. He says I tricked him into signing it. He insists the evidence of his affair is circumstantial. His young lawyer tries to support these arguments, but Patricia dismantles each one with documentation and legal precedent. Daniel grows more desperate. He offers compromises. He'll take less from the retirement account. He'll pay spousal support for 2 years instead of 5. He'll sign over the car if he can keep some of the savings. But Patricia, following my instructions, rejects everything. My client wants a clean break, she says firmly. Your client violated the terms of your marriage and the prenuptial agreement. These are the consequences. By the end, Daniel looks like he aged 10 years. His new lawyer is sweating. The mediator makes notes and says she'll submit her recommendations to the judge. Outside the courthouse, Daniel tries one last time. Vanessa, please. Be reasonable. I'll have nothing left. I look at him and feel no sympathy. You should have thought about that before you proposed to someone else. The court date arrives 6 weeks later. I wear a navy blue dress and pearl earrings. Professional. Calm. Collected. Patricia meets me in the hallway outside the courtroom. Ready? She asks. I nod. We enter the courtroom together. Daniel is already there with his lawyer. He doesn't look at me. The judge, an older man with gray hair and sharp eyes, enters. Everyone stands. He sits and gestures for us to do the same. I've reviewed all submitted documentation, he begins, including the prenuptial agreement, financial records, and evidence of infidelity. He looks at Daniel over his reading glasses. Sir, can you provide any evidence that disputes the claims of adultery made against you? Daniel's lawyer starts to stand, but Daniel stops him. The courtroom is silent. Daniel knows he has nothing. The photos, the credit card statements, the witness testimonies, the voice recording. It's all real. All true. No, Daniel finally says. His voice is barely audible. The judge nods. Then I'm ruling in favor of the plaintiff on all contested items. He reads through the judgment. The house stays in my name. I keep 70% of the retirement account. Daniel pays spousal support for 3 years. The judgment hits Daniel like a physical blow. His shoulders slump. His face goes pale. His lawyer pats his shoulder sympathetically, but there's nothing he can do now. Patricia squeezes my hand under the table. We won. Completely. After the judge dismisses us, I walk out of the courtroom without looking back. Patricia follows me into the hallway. That was decisive, she says with satisfaction. He won't try to appeal. He has no grounds. Thank you, I tell her. For everything. She smiles. Thank you for trusting me with your case. And for having all your evidence so well organized. You made my job easy. Outside, the sun is shining. It's a beautiful spring day. Birds are singing in the trees around the courthouse. I take a deep breath of fresh air and feel lighter than I have in years. My phone buzzes. A text from my mother. How did it go? We won, I type back. She sends me 3 celebration emojis and a heart. As I drive away from the courthouse, I think about Daniel. About how his life is completely different now. He had to move out of our house into a small apartment across town. His car got repossessed because he couldn't make the payments without my income. I hear things through mutual friends who still talk to both of us. Daniel lost his job at the dealership. Something about being distracted and missing sales targets. He found work at a smaller place across the city. Less pay. Longer hours. Ashley had her baby. A girl. She named her Sophia. Daniel sees her sometimes, but Ashley's parents help her more than he does. He pays child support, but barely. He can't afford much after paying me. His friends slowly stopped inviting him to things. Maybe they got tired of his excuses. Maybe they saw who he really was. Either way, he's mostly alone now. I don't take pleasure in his struggles. But I don't feel guilty either. He made choices. Choices have consequences. Meanwhile, my life got better than I imagined possible. My consulting business grew. I hired 2 assistants. We're working with clients in 3 states now. I moved into a new condo downtown. Smaller than the house, but perfect for just me. All windows and light. I decorated it exactly how I wanted. No compromises. I started taking pottery classes on Thursday evenings. Met new friends who don't know anything about Daniel or the divorce. They just know me as Vanessa, the woman who makes lopsided bowls and laughs at her own mistakes. 8 months after the divorce was finalized, I receive a message on social media. From Daniel. I almost delete it without reading. But curiosity wins. I miss you, it says. I made a huge mistake. The biggest mistake of my life. We could start over. We were good together once. We could be good again. I stare at the message for a long time. Then I close it without responding. I don't block him. I don't report it. I simply ignore it. He doesn't deserve my anger anymore. He doesn't deserve any emotion from me at all. 2 days later, Patricia calls. Your ex-husband tried to file a motion to reduce his spousal support payments. Claimed financial hardship. What happened? I ask. The judge denied it. Said he should have considered consequences before committing adultery. His words, not mine. I smile. Good. There's one more thing, Patricia says. Daniel is apparently moving to another state. Michigan, I think. Starting over somewhere new. Good for him, I say and mean it. Later that evening, I sit on my balcony watching the sunset. The sky turns orange and pink and purple. My neighbors are grilling on their balcony. Music plays somewhere nearby. Everything feels peaceful. Normal. Mine. I think about the woman I was a year ago. Married to a liar. Pretending everything was fine. Making excuses. Ignoring red flags. She seems like a stranger now. The best revenge wasn't destroying Daniel. It was becoming the person he said I couldn't be. Independent. Successful. Happy. thriving without him. I raise my glass of wine to the sunset and whisper to myself. Sometimes the best victory is simply walking away from people who don't deserve you.